Ambassador Tejo watched the human ship with his 8 compound eyes. The massive vessel called HSB Endurance moved slowly into orbit. It was unlike other ships in the galaxy. Not beautiful like the Arisian ships or shiny like Medusan ones. This human ship looked rough and simple, but his sensors could not understand many parts of it. Most interesting, Tejo said, his mouthparts clicking together. His blue skin reflected the light from the nearby star. They send just one ship. This was very strange to Tejo and the Galactic Council. Every other species in the galaxy had arrived with many ships when they first met the Council. Some brought war fleets. Others brought trade ships. All brought at least a few vessels. Yet humans sent only one. What does this mean? Asked Jinwoo, Tejo's assistant. His antennae twitched with worry. It means they are either very brave or very foolish, Tejo replied. He adjusted his ceremonial robe and prepared to meet the humans. Perhaps they are not strong. Perhaps they have only one ship. But the Council spies had watched Earth for many years. They knew humans built many things and had many people. They had wars. They had peace. They had art and science. So why just one ship? Maybe it's a trick, suggested Sunmi, the security chief. Her tough outer shell gleamed under the station lights. Maybe more human ships wait somewhere, ready to attack. Tejo shook his head. I do not think so. Our deep space sensors would have found them. The council meeting room buzzed with talk as representatives from 23 species debated the human question. Some wanted to destroy the human ship immediately. Others wanted to welcome them with great parties. We will follow protocol, declared Hyunjin, the council leader. Her 6 arms moved in the pattern that meant final decision. We will meet them and learn why they came alone. The Endurance was bigger up close. Much bigger. As Tejo's shuttle approached, he saw it was the size of a small moon. Strange markings covered its dark metal hull. No weapons were visible, but something about the ship felt dangerous. Approaching human vessel, said the pilot. They have opened their docking bay. Inside the human ship, Tejo and his team walked through wide corridors. The air smelled different, not bad, just alien. Human crew members watched them with curious eyes. They had only 2 eyes each, which Tejo found limiting. How could they see properly? Captain Yoonji Kim waited in the meeting room. She stood tall for a human, with short black hair and a blue uniform with silver markings. She smiled at the alien delegation. Welcome aboard the Endurance, she said through a translator. We are honored to meet the Galactic Council. Tejo performed the greeting ritual of his people, moving his upper limbs in the pattern of peace. We welcome humanity to galactic society. But I must ask what many are wondering, why did Earth send only one ship? Is this all you have? Captain Kim's smile grew wider. We thought one would be enough for now. This answer confused Tejo. Was it pride? Was it a threat? Was it simple truth? May I show you something? Captain Kim asked. She pressed a control, and the wall became transparent, revealing a massive chamber below. Inside were factories, gardens, schools, and living spaces. Thousands of humans worked and lived there. The Endurance carries everything we need, she explained. It is not just a ship. It is a piece of Earth. We can build more ships from it if needed. We can make a colony. We can defend ourselves. But mostly, we came to learn and share. Tejo understood then. The humans had not sent one ship because they were weak. They had sent one ship because it was enough. Everything important from Earth was inside this massive vessel, their knowledge, their culture, their strength. Clever, Tejo said, his respect growing. You come as friends but prepared for anything. Exactly, Captain Kim said. Earth has seen many wars. We learned it's better to be ready for problems but hope for friendship. One ship shows we come in peace. But one ship like this shows we are not helpless. As Tejo left the human ship that day, he sent an urgent message to the council. The humans are different from any species we have met. They think in new ways. They are careful but brave. We should welcome them not because they are strong or weak, but because they are interesting. They sent one ship not because they had to, but because they chose to. And that choice tells us much about them. Captain Jaiwo looked out the big window of the Endurance. Her dark eyes watched as small ships from many alien worlds flew toward her vessel. Each alien ship had different colors and shapes. Some glowed. Some moved like fish in water. All carried important visitors. Jaiwo had gray in her black hair. Deep lines marked her face from years of training for this moment. She stood very straight in her blue uniform with the Earth symbol on the chest. "They're curious about us," said Commander Do-Hyun. He stood beside her, checking data on his screen. "All 17 species are sending their best people." "Good," said Jaiwo. Her voice was calm but her heart beat fast. No human had ever met aliens before. Now she would meet many kinds at once. "They wonder why we came with just one ship." Do-Hyun nodded. "They expected a fleet. Should I tell them about our plans?" "Not yet," Jaiwo said. "Let them wonder a little longer." The meeting room was ready. Earth food sat on one table. Space for alien foods remained on another. Human art hung on walls. Music played softly. The room was big enough for all visitors but not so big that it felt cold. The first aliens arrived. They had blue skin and 4 arms. Next came tall beings made of something like crystal. Then small furry creatures with 3 eyes. More and more entered until the room held beings from 17 worlds. Jaiwo greeted each one in the way her team had studied. She bowed to some. She touched hands with others. For a few, she stayed far back as their customs required. "Welcome to humanity's first vessel of friendship," Jaiwo said when all had arrived. "We come from Earth to learn, to share, and to join the galactic community." The aliens shared gifts. The crystal people gave a singing stone. The blue 4-armed beings brought water from their sacred lake. Each gift came with a story about the alien world. Humans gave gifts too. Seeds from earth plants. Music recordings. Art pieces. Books translated into galactic standard language. As they ate and talked, Jaiwo noticed the aliens watching the humans carefully. They studied how humans ate, how they moved, how they laughed. "Your ship is impressive," said Ki-hyun of the Arisian people. His skin shifted colors as he spoke. "But we expected more ships." "Many more." Others nodded. The question had been on all their minds. "Our scans detect you have only basic weapons," said a small gray alien named Minji. "Are you not afraid, coming into unknown space so, unprotected?" The room grew quiet. This was the real question. Were humans foolish? Were they weak? Or did they know something the aliens didn't? Jaiwo took a small sip from her cup before answering. "Earth spent 50 years building the Endurance. We put everything we needed inside one perfect vessel. All our knowledge. Our best people. Everything to represent Earth properly. But why not send 20 ships? Or 100, asked Ki-hyun. "More ships mean more safety." Jaiwo smiled. "On Earth, we have a saying, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, but the size of the fight in the dog." The translator struggled with this. The aliens looked confused. "It means," Jaiwo explained, "that determination matters more than numbers. We don't need many ships to show who we are. One is enough." "A bold choice," said an elder alien with glowing eyes. "Or a foolish one," muttered another. Jaiwo watched them discuss among themselves. She knew the Endurance carried secrets. Hidden rooms. Special technology. Things the alien scans couldn't see. But humans had decided not to arrive looking threatening. "Captain Jaiwo," said a small green alien named Baman, "your transmissions from Earth show many wars in your history. Many weapons. Many ships. Yet you come to us with just one. Why should we trust this is truly how humans are? The room went quiet again. This was the important moment. Jaiwu stood and walked to the window. The stars shined brightly. We bring one ship because we come in peace. We could have brought weapons and soldiers. Instead, we bring scientists, artists, and diplomats. Judge us by what we chose to bring, not what we left behind. The aliens looked at each other. Some nodded slowly. Interesting, said Ki-hyun. Most species try to impress us with power on first meeting. We hope to impress you with wisdom instead, Jaiwu replied. As the reception continued, Jaiwu sent a private message to Earth, first contact proceeding well. They're curious about our single ship approach. The plan is working. They're seeing us as different from other species they've met. Not a threat, but a mystery they want to solve. 3 months had passed since the Endurance arrived in Council space. The huge human ship now moved between different alien worlds. At each stop, humans shared their music, art, food, and science. They learned alien languages. They studied alien stars and planets. But not all aliens were happy about the humans. In the great round hall of the Galactic Council, Admiral Miho pounded his scaled fist on the table. His red eyes glowed with anger. These humans hide things from us, he shouted. His sharp teeth flashed as he spoke. They show us their music. They show us their plants. But they will not tell us about their weapons or how many ships they have back on Earth. The 50 council members shifted in their seats. Some nodded. Others looked worried. Admiral Miho speaks truth, said Counselor Juno. His long neck bent toward the center of the room. The humans answer some questions but avoid others. Why? Elder Nari sat quietly in her floating chair. Her skin glowed softly in the dim room. At over 300 years old, she had seen many new species join the galactic community. Some came as friends. Some came as enemies. The humans were different. What if, she said softly, and the room went quiet to hear her, what if we are asking the wrong questions? What if humans think differently than we do? Admiral Miho made a harsh laughing sound. They are not so special, Elder. All species want power. All species want to protect themselves. The humans must have weapons and ships they are not showing us. I have studied their history, said Nari. They had many wars, yes. But also many times of peace. They make beautiful art. They care for their planet's other creatures. They are complex. Or very good liars, said Counselor Juno. The debate continued for hours. Some council members wanted to demand answers from the humans. Others wanted to send spies to Earth. A few suggested forcing the Endurance to leave council space. Meanwhile, on the human ship, Captain Jaiwo sat alone in her private room. A message from Earth played on her screen. The face of General Yunha looked serious. Captain, your reports are received with great interest, said the general. The council's reaction is exactly as we predicted. Continue Phase 3 of the mission. Share the agricultural technology with them. Share the medical advances. But the core protocol remains secret until the right moment. Jaiwo nodded even though the message was recorded. She understood. Earth had sent the Endurance with a plan. A careful, long plan. A knock came at her door. Commander Dohyan entered with a worried face. Captain, our sensors detected 3 Calatrian ships following us, he said. They're trying to scan our engine room and lower levels. Jaiwu wasn't surprised. Let them scan the public areas. Activate the shield for the restricted sections. Yes, Captain. Also, the Council has sent a new list of questions. Many are about Earth's military and how many ships we're building. Jaiwo looked at the stars through her window. They still don't understand us, do they? No, Captain. They keep expecting us to act like other species. Jaiwo stood up and straightened her uniform. That's the point, Do-Hyen. We're not like the others. We don't think like them. Later that day, Jaiwoo met with Taeho, who had become the council's main speaker with the humans. The blue alien seemed uncomfortable. Captain Jaiwoo, some council members are concerned, Taeho said carefully. You share much with us, but not all. Some wonder if you plan something unexpected. Jaiwoo smiled. What do you think, Ambassador Taeho? In the months you've known us, have humans seemed dangerous to you? Taeho's antenna moved slowly, showing he was thinking deeply. No. But you are, puzzling. You have one powerful ship that could make more ships. Yet you don't. You have technology that could be used for weapons. Yet you use it for other things. You do not act like other species when they first joined the council. And is that bad? Asked Jaiwoo. It is unsettling, admitted Taeho. The council likes to understand new species quickly. To know if they are friends or enemies. You humans are hard to place in our usual categories. Jaiwoo nodded. On Earth, we studied the histories of council species before we built the Endurance. We saw how fear often shaped first meetings. We wanted to try a different approach. By sending just one ship, Taeho said. By showing who we really are, not just our strength, Jaiwoo corrected. The council will understand eventually. As Taeho left the meeting, he passed Elder Nari, who was coming to visit the human ship. The old alien smiled at him. They are not what we expected, are they? She asked. No, said Taeho. And that makes Admiral Miho and his friends very nervous. Good, said Elder Nari, surprising Taeho. The galaxy needs something new to think about. These humans might be just what we need. The big space station called Unity Point hung in space like a shiny wheel. Here, aliens from all over the galaxy came to talk, trade, and learn. The human ship Endurance was docked at one arm of the wheel. Captain Jaiwoo and her crew had been sharing Earth culture with interested aliens for 5 months now. This day started like others. Jaiwoo was drinking tea in the station's garden area, talking with Elder Nari about Earth's forests. Then the alarms started. Red lights flashed. Loud sounds blared. Alien voices spoke quickly in many languages over the speakers. What's happening? Asked Jaiwoo, standing up. Elder Nari's skin paled from bright yellow to dim orange. Skreath ships. They are attacking. The Skreath were bad news. Everyone knew this. They were tall, strong aliens with tough gray skin and 4 arms. They didn't join the Galactic Council. They took what they wanted. They hurt those who said no. Now 10 Skreath warships moved toward Unity Point. Their dark ships looked like sharp knives cutting through space. All civilians to safety rooms, called station security. Council Defense Fleet has been called. Estimated arrival, 3 hours. 3 hours was too long. The Skreath would destroy half the station by then. Elder Nari shook with fear. There are 10,000 people on this station. Many will die. Captain Jaiwoo touched the communicator on her wrist. Do-Hyen, prepare the Endurance for immediate action. Activate Protocol Shield. Captain? Do-Hyen sounded surprised. That will reveal our... I know, said Jaiwoo firmly. Do it now. On screens around the station, aliens watched in horror as the Skreath ships drew closer. Their weapons were powering up. Then something strange happened. The Endurance, the single human ship that had seemed so simple and almost primitive, began to change. Sections of its dark hull slid apart. New structures emerged. What had looked like ordinary metal panels transformed into complex systems never seen before. The big human ship detached from the station and moved between Unity Point and the approaching Skreath vessels. Admiral Miho, who happened to be visiting the station, watched with wide eyes from the control room. What are they doing? 1 ship against 10 Skreath warships is suicide. Taeho stood beside him. Perhaps we were wrong about the humans. Captain Jaiwoo's voice came through all communication systems across the station and to the attacking ships. This is Captain Jaiwo of the Earth vessel Endurance. Unity Point is under our protection. We stand for peace, but we will defend the innocent. Withdraw your ships now or we will stop you. The Screeth commander's harsh face appeared on the screens. He had gray skin, sharp teeth, and red eyes. He laughed. One ship? You will die first, human. The Screeth ships fired. Red energy beams shot toward the Endurance. Everyone on the station held their breath, expecting to see the human ship destroyed. Instead, something amazing happened. The energy beams hit what seemed like invisible walls around the Endurance. The shields glowed blue where the attacks hit, but nothing got through. Then the human ship changed again. Small sections opened. Devices emerged that no one recognized. The Endurance fired back. Not with the destructive weapons the Screeth used. These were different. Precise. Careful. The first Screeth ship's engines suddenly went dark. It floated helplessly. The second ship's weapons stopped working. A third ship spun in circles, its control systems clearly broken. Impossible, whispered Admiral Miho. They're disabling the ships without destroying them. The Screeth commander appeared on screen again, now angry instead of laughing. What is this technology? Stop hiding behind tricks. This is not a trick, replied Captain Jaiwo calmly. This is humanity showing its true nature. We prefer not to kill when we don't have to. Surrender now. The Screeth fired again, using all their remaining ships. This time the Endurance moved fast, impossibly fast for a ship its size. It dodged some attacks and blocked others with its shields. Then the human ship released hundreds of small objects. They flew toward the Screeth vessels, attached to their hulls, and suddenly all 7 remaining ships lost power. Within 10 minutes, all 10 attacking ships floated harmlessly in space, their crews alive but unable to fight. In the control room of Unity Point, aliens from 20 species watched in stunned silence. Now we know, said Elder Nari softly. Now we know why they sent only one ship. Teho nodded slowly. Because one was enough. Admiral Miho's mouth hung open. All this time, they could have. When Captain Jaiwo returned to the station, aliens looked at her differently. With new respect. With new questions. The human who had seemed so ordinary had just proven that humanity was anything but ordinary. Why didn't you tell us you had such technology? Asked Admiral Miho later. Jaiwo looked at him calmly. You never asked what we could do. You only asked how many ships we had. After the battle with the Screeth ships, the Galactic Council called an emergency meeting. The great round hall was fuller than ever before. Some aliens even stood along the walls because all seats were taken. Everyone wanted to hear about the humans and their amazing ship. Captain Jaiwo walked into the center of the hall. She looked small surrounded by so many alien beings. Some were twice her size. Some floated in the air. Some glowed with inner light. But all eyes, whether 2 or 8 or none, focused on her. Admiral Miho spoke first. For months we have wondered why humans sent only one ship to meet the galaxy. Now we have seen this ship defeat 10 Screeth warships without killing anyone. Captain Jaiwo, we demand answers. Jaiwo nodded. She did not seem worried by the Admiral's harsh tone. Yes, it is time for truth, she said. You have all asked the same question since we arrived. Why did Earth send only one ship? She paused and looked around the room. The answer is simple, we didn't need to send more. Voices rose in the hall. Some angry. Some confused. Some curious. Jaiwo held up her hand. The room grew quiet. Let me show you something, she said. She pressed a small device on her wrist. A big 3-dimensional picture appeared in the air above her. It showed the inside of the Endurance. Layer after layer was revealed. Hidden rooms. Strange machines. Gardens. Factories. Living spaces. Power systems unlike any the Council had seen before. The Endurance is not just a ship, explained Jaiwu. It is humanity's best achievement. Everything we need is inside. We can make food, medicine, even new smaller ships if needed. We can defend ourselves and others, as you saw yesterday. We can communicate with Earth across the great distance. We can learn and share and build friendships. The council members stared at the detailed image floating in the air. You could have built 100 ships like this, asked Teho with wonder in his voice. We could have, said Jaiwu. But why? One was enough to show who we are. Elder Nari's skin glowed brighter than usual. I think I understand now. You wanted us to know you by your actions, not by how many ships or weapons you brought. Yes, said Jaiwu with a smile. On Earth, we have a history full of wars. We fought each other for thousands of years. We nearly destroyed our planet more than once. But we learned from our mistakes. She walked slowly around the room, making eye contact with many council members. We learned that showing up with many weapons often starts fights instead of preventing them. We learned that true strength is not about how much you can destroy, but about what you choose not to destroy. The hologram changed to show Earth. Blue oceans. Green and brown land. White clouds. Our planet almost died because we couldn't control ourselves, Jaiwu continued. When we finally decided to reach for the stars, we promised to do better. To be wiser. The Endurance represents that promise. Admiral Miho stood up. He looked less angry now, more thoughtful. You could have conquered many worlds with this technology. Yet you hide it inside one ship and use it only to protect others. Would you have preferred we came with a battle fleet? Asked Jaiwu. The Admiral thought for a moment. No, he admitted. That would have caused fear and maybe war. Exactly, said Jaiwu. Humanity has had enough war. We came to learn and share and grow. One ship, carefully built and wisely used, says more about humans than 100 warships ever could. In the following days, the Council voted to make Earth a full member of the galactic community. It was the fastest approval in Council history. In the following years, other species began to copy what they called the human approach. The Araxians, who always traveled in fleets of 50 ships, started sending just their best vessels on important missions. The war-loving Calatrians, including Admiral Miho, began training special teams for peaceful solutions instead of always preparing for battle. Elder Nari wrote a famous book called The One Ship Lesson that was studied on 100 worlds. 10 years later, when another aggressive species called the Vorix threatened the galaxy, they were not defeated by huge fleets. Instead, a small team of ships, human, Calatrian, Araxian, and others working together, solved the problem with careful planning and minimal fighting. Captain Jaiwu, by then promoted to admiral, often reminded young officers of the lesson: sometimes the greatest strength is knowing when not to use your strength at all. The question that had once confused the galaxy, why did humanity send only one ship, became the answer that changed it forever.